Oh, my name is Wendy De Rosa, and I imagine most of you we've been in contact, and some of you might be seeing, we might be connecting for the first time. Um, and I'm glad you're here. And I know some people are going to be calling in just in these next few minutes, so I'm just going to say a couple of just details as we're getting started here. And one of the details actually has nothing to do with details. It's actually about what's going on energetically right now on the planet. And I just wanted to name this and talk about it for one moment, just as people are calling in, because I think it's important. I just co-wrote an article on the Huffington Post about this issue, and that's that there's a lot of transitional energy in the ether right now. So to ground that a little bit, um, we are affected by a collective unconsciousness. So if there's like a mass of mass shootings or mass war or something going on, it actually affects us all on an individual level in our field. And so that sort of started when the airstrikes happened in Gaza, and now since then we've been in a lot of transitional and sort of attack kind of energy, which can be really intense for the sensitive person. Um, so if we're very intuitive or if you're energetically sensitive, it can feel like, people are coming out of nowhere, or the rug's getting pulled out from under you, or there's just a lot of intense energy, and maybe some things are going great in your personal life, and at the same time you're feeling this intensity that's going on. Well, you're not crazy. It's happening. It's happening for a lot of people. And so it's just really important right now to have a very strong grounding practice, and to have your meditation, to ground yourself, to protect yourself energetically. And I'm glad to be offering these kinds of webinars and calls that I do to just give you a resource to where you can just ground into yourself and connect and get a little bit more soul food during this time. The information I've been getting through my own guidance is that it's basically going to be going on till the middle of September. So just be careful, take time. When I say be careful, meaning take care of yourself, be careful with yourself, and just do what you can to just tend to your spiritual practice right now. That will help ground you when things feel like they're not very grounded. Okay, so that's one little item of business. Another one is, as you're calling in, there is a chat box in GoToMeeting, and it's a control panel, and I'm going to take questions more towards the end of the call, of the webinar, and that's where you can write questions in that chat box, and I'll answer them, or comments, anything that you want to say or add. And the format the format of tonight's webinar, it's on how to have true transformation. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how we're going to work tonight. First of all, the call is going to be, we're going to do I'll do a talk on transformation, and then I'm going to take you through a bit of a guided meditation. We'll actually start with a grounding, and then we'll do the talk, and then I'll take you into a meditation. And at the end, I'm going to talk about how you can work with personal transformation in your own life. And then in the last 15 minutes or so, I'm actually going to talk about how I can help you with personal transformation. I am launching a healer training program next week, so I'm going to take some time and talk about the healer training program and how it can work in terms of personal transformation for yourself. So, I welcome you to stick around and listen and ask questions about the training program. And if not for now, for another time, because the training program's ongoing enrollment, and you can, if you feel like you need a container, it's available to you ongoing. So I'll talk about that later. Okay, so let's just take a minute and close your eyes my eyes will be closed as I do this. But we're going to just take a moment and ground in to ourselves individually. Grounding into yourself in this moment may look like that the energy that's been swirling up towards your head starts to make its way down, sort of unspiral or unwind down through your entire body down into your sit bones and your seat. And then from there, from your sit bones and your seat, your grounding cord holds nice and snug around your hips and around your sacrum and around the front of your belly. It's like a beam of light or a tree trunk-like image, and it's going to connect nice and snug there. And then from there, it reaches down through the layers of the earth and goes all the way down into the core of the planet. Take a few deep breaths and then feel yourself lean back. Lean into yourself. Feel what it feels like right now to relax the ego and soften into your spirit more. And that might feel like softening into your heart or leaning back into a place where you don't have to think too hard. You can just be. And feel what it feels like right now if you could imagine that your soul is this brilliant light and you're leaning back into a waterfall of light. And that waterfall of light is cleansing your mind and your body and your energy. And it's not just cleansing the energy in your body, it's also cleansing the energy around the outside of your body. So your energy field, your aura around the outside of you. And just take some deep breaths, and as you inhale, imagine you're drawing that light in for cleansing, and as you exhale, you're going to let that light go down or release down any unwanted energy. And so through this talk on personal transformation and how to have true transformation, we actually engage the entire body, because transformation it's not a mental or intellectual experience. It's a very much a soul and spiritual and human experience. So we're activating the spiritual side of you, the part of you that needs soul food, that might need to just touch in with your soul. Perhaps you've been in ego today, and everybody has that, and ego looks like trying to get, the job done, trying to get the tasks done for the day, and caring for everyone, and doing what you need to do. We need our ego for that. But in this moment, if you can imagine just leaning back into your spirit. And we'll just let all of your energy, all of our energy together just ground into our seat, into our sit bones, and just really feel perhaps a sense of vibration in the body as the waterfall of light flows through. And just allow your cellular body to become activated here in this moment. And that your cellular body receives also this beautiful light, as if your cells are buzzing or illuminating with this light. If there's any stress, any tension, any way you're holding, take a deep breath in. On an exhale, just let that go down through your grounding cord. And so I pray that as we are grounding into this and really activating the cellular body, that this discussion on transformation really connect to those places inside you that are ready to transform, or ready to have a new experience and to embrace the light that you're here to be. I pray for a light to surround each one of us individually, that we may be held and protected and also guided in this, in our lives in general, and just really feeling the nurturing of our connection this evening. And I'm grateful for being of service here in the highest way that I may be, and I pray that we have a wonderful time together, that you get to just receive what you're here to receive. Thank you, God, so be it, and so it is. So you can stay connected to yourself. You don't have to come out of it. You can stay very connected to your deep grounding at this moment. I'm going to talk a minute about transformation. So within transformation is shifting the energetic imprint in the cellular body. So we transform by shifting the energy in our body. But very specifically, it's about transforming energetic imprints that manifest in the cells of our body. So I'm going to break that down for a minute. We have cells in our body, we know that, and our energy makes up cells in the body. And we say, sometimes it's said, we're going to shift the cells in the body, or we're going to clear energy from the cells. But the reality, and scientifically, our cells die every day and new cells are born every day. So what keeps cellular imprints going if we are constantly clearing cells and making new cells in our body? And this is a question that has brought up, that Deepak Chopra has talked about, that scientist Candace Pert has talked about. There's a lot of research in energy medicine now about why we hold on to the patterns that we do, and why energy influences our cellular structure and our form and how we live. So it's been evolving. That conversation's been evolving over the past few decades, and this is what it's coming down to, is that yes, our cells die every day, and we create new cells. But what stays consistent is actually what's in the energetic anatomy. So when we go to school, we learn about the physical anatomy and what makes up the physical anatomy. But the education we seek out is what our energetic anatomy is, or what our spirit is doing. And that's a whole other realm of education that we may be pursuing. If you're on this call, most likely you've had some experience with it, or you're seeking that knowledge. Within the energetic anatomy, we carry imprints in our system. And our imprints are trauma, emotions, life experiences that have happened, from the time we were in utero until now. We also carry imprints actually from previous lives, so energy that we've come into this world with. We carry an energetic imprint about the life experiences that we have, and essentially it's information that feeds into our cells. So when we go through a life experience, our energy body actually goes through that experience and stores that information in our system somewhere in our body. And we have this, in just our innate intelligence, our development, our psychological and development, and our human development, we have this beautiful intelligence inside us that will actually store that information for later. So we know at 5 years old, we're not going to be able, we don't know this, but we know this as an adult, a 5-year-old isn't going to be able to process information that is beyond their years, that they're taking in at that time, that's beyond their years, or more than they have the that they have the maturity to handle. So we're going to store that information at a young age and process it when our system's ready to process it. So although our cells die and new cells are reborn, the energetic imprint can remain in the system, in the energy body. So when we're going through transformation, it's actually not necessarily something that happens through the mind. We can't necessarily think our way through energetic transformation. It has to be a consciousness shift. It has to be and when I say consciousness, it's when the spirit connects or merges with the human mind or the human awareness. And then when we have the consciousness shift, our system is able to clear that program or that imprint and reprogram ourselves. So spiritual or transformation is an energetic experience. And you can go about transformation a lot of different ways. And you can actually experience transformation through therapy, through years of therapy, and having consciousness shifts throughout that time. You can go through spiritual transformation or human transformation just through one life experience that shifted you enough or woke you up enough to where you had an awareness shift and you were able to clear or cleanse the information or the imprint in your system. So, as I was saying, the cells die and new ones are created, and the imprint that overlays the cells or merges into the cells ends up staying with us for years, or at some point we go through the process of being aware of what we're carrying in our body energetically. And true transformation happens when we have the spiritual strength and stamina and courage to actually look at those imprints, to look at what it is that has been holding us back, that has been keeping us in resistance or not allowing us to step more fully into our light. And you may have heard this before if you've been on other webinars or calls, but in the energetic anatomy, we have this beautiful pillar that runs from the crown of our head to our tailbone. And that's our pillar of light in our body. It's our central channel, and it's ultimately our midline or our center. I call it our center. And nothing should really be in that center but you and your spirit, you and divine light. But what ends up happening is we go through life experiences where energy gets into the center pillar. It rocks us to our core. It becomes a very deep core issue, and it doesn't feel good. And it actually it can feel like you'll never get away from it, or it'll never, I'll never get out from under this, or I'm never going to shift. I'm so, wounded in this way. And it's not necessarily the case. The path to transformation is actually oftentimes through the spiritual consciousness. It's through connecting into the energetic system in the body, not just the mind, not just concepts or how healing works or how, unraveling the story of the past. It's about going right into the center of the being to identify what blocks are there. 9 out of 10 times that block is emotional. Actually, 100% of the time, I would say that block, whatever it is, has emotions connected to it. So as we become more comfortable feeling feelings or allowing ourselves to have feelings, allowing that to be part of the transformational process, you actually move your blocks faster. So it's faster to clear them through feeling your feelings than it is from hiding from your feelings or avoiding them or having shame around them or anything like that. And if that's the case sometimes, that it's never been taught to have your feelings, then that's a process. That's a block to work through. But we do move quicker. We clear energy quicker in our system if we allow ourselves to have the feelings that are there. So I'm just going to take you through a little bit of a guided meditation just to connect in to a place in your system where you would like to perhaps release an imprint in your body and replace it with something supportive. So this isn't a huge journey of a healing, but it is for you to just connect into something that you're carrying in your system that does not serve you. Having the opportunity to clear it, and I'll guide you through that, and then how to replace in that area of the body. So again, we'll just have you close your eyes and take some deep breaths. And just breathe right now into the core of your body. Imagine seeing a pillar from the top of your head to your tailbone. Just imagine that that's there. And take some deep breaths into if you can imagine or think about a core belief that you carry in your system. So the core belief might be, for example, I'm not good enough, or there isn't enough for me. There isn't enough love, there isn't enough money, there isn't enough friendship, community, whatever it might be. Just take some deep breaths and see if you can identify a core belief. And see if you can identify where that is in your body. When you breathe into the core belief, where do you feel it in your body? And just take some deep breaths into that. And then ask that energy, or ask your higher self, does it have a color or a consistency? Does it have a feeling about it? And just breathe into it. And as you start to see or feel or sense that belief as a block in the pillar of the body, I want you to imagine right now that you're going to start to pour water on it, like bring light in through the top of your head and start to pour water, nourishment, soul food, right into that block there. And just keep breathing through any emotion that comes up. And ask yourself if you're really ready to let go. Are you really ready to let go of that core belief? The way you think about yourself, the way you treat yourself, the way you feel others have treated you, and therefore you reinforce it. Are you ready to let that go and to stop thinking so limited in such a limited way, or to stop abusing yourself? Take some deep breaths into letting go of you holding that. Even if somebody else gave you that information first, you're holding it. So it's your responsibility to clear it, to not hold it anymore. So take some deep breaths and just let that energy release. Let it go down through your grounding cord. Let the water of light, the shower of light, move through that area of the body. It's as if you're pouring water into a pipe and you're clearing like mud that's gotten inside the pipeline, or trees and leaves and or branches and leaves and things. Just let the water, the divine light move through in a way that releases that wound. And as it leaves, or as it's leaving, ask your higher self or your spirit, your intuition, what would be a supportive place to live from? What would be a supportive belief that you could live from in that area of your body? So, for example, if your wound was, the belief was, I'm not good enough, could the new affirming belief be, I am love, I am grace, I am full, I am good, whatever it is for you. And it's imagining, it's literally a replacing, this is like a job, it's like replacing a new imprint right into that area of the body. So breathe right into that area where you're feeling it in your body, the new affirmation. And this is where you'll have to sort of put on your imagination glasses, or like as if you're watching a movie. If you can imagine that the light comes into that area and the affirmation or the new programming, the new belief is entering into that area, that you're using the words, you're saying the words to that area. And then imagine that the imprint, the new imprint that's being made, is going to integrate into the cells. So that whole area that was the block is now turning into a whole new vibration, a new light in that area of your body. Take some deep breaths and just allow that shift to happen. Allow that imprint to transform. And so, within transformation, from this place, once we do the energetic shifting, once you replace in that area of your body, it's important to shift your patterning after that. So how are you going to live from a new program inside yourself? So let's say, for example, the new belief you put in was, I am love. So how are you going to live from that place of I am love? Maybe it's a matter of repeating that affirmation over and over again. I am love, I am love, I am love, like a mantra, or whatever yours is. I am grace, love will fill me up, whatever it is. That you repeat it over and over again to get your brain to sync up with your energetic body. So even saying it over and over again, repeating that affirmation from that place, gives it room to grow and room to vibrate throughout your whole system. And what you might find when you first experience transformation is actually a blank slate. You might find you feel nothing but peace. It might not be this huge outer transformation initially. It might actually be just a way you settle into yourself that's different. It's different. It's like when when you're sleeping on a mattress, when there's like a big rock underneath the mattress and it kind of makes you feel irritable, like I can't sleep restfully. And then someone pulls the rock out and you're like, oh, I can actually lie flat and feel that. It's like that's the same kind of feeling in the body when there's a block that's removed. Sometimes it's just a matter of really settling into yourself and letting your true self shift or be felt in this area of the body. So you can take this exercise as a way of understanding how energetic shifts occur deep within the energy body. And that transformation comes from deeper meditation, spiritual work, and connecting into the blocks that exist inside the body, not just in the mind or not just in your memory. A lot of our blocks aren't conscious to us. So here I'm going to give you a few tools or tips on how you can work with transformation in your life. The first one is actually to have a connecting in or meditation practice. It's to have that daily connection in with yourself, and if anything you do repetitively will shift or transform you, because the patterns in your system are changing. So if you meditate every day for 40 days, you're going to feel a shift. You're going to feel something completely different, and it's internal. It's not external. And a lot of times we actually seek the shifting, like we want to have more success or more peace or whatever it is externally. We want everyone else to calm down around us. When the reality is the shift that really happens, transformation that really happens, comes from deep, deep within. And as you shift, everything around you shifts. Life shifts around you. Life is a mirror of your interior. So daily meditation is a really wonderful way to support yourself in having consistent and lasting shifting and transformation. The other one is to set goals for yourself to shift at the deepest level. That's actually a very courageous thing to do. If you can say, I'm ready to shift at the deepest level, what you're really ready to say is, I'm willing to not be afraid, to look at my triggers, to humble myself enough to see myself, to acknowledge that I'm not perfect, to not feel shame around your emotions. You're willing to actually see yourself. To say, I'm ready to shift at the deepest level means I am really ready to see who I'm really here to be. And that's powerful. That's a powerful place to be. So if you're looking for that deep shifting and that deep transformation, you don't even let your head get in the way. It's between you and the divine. I am ready to shift at the deepest level. Whatever that means. And when you say shift, like shift in the highest good, or shift it into my highest potential of who I'm here to be, you might actually hit some roadblocks and you might hit some wounds that come up. But if you're ready to shift at the deepest level, you're ready to look at those and not let those be roadblocks. You're ready to see yourself. It's very, very powerful. Next, the daily practice is to have yourself, like I said in the beginning, the meditation practice. But for some people, meditation, you might feel, I've heard it a lot, it's hard to meditate and my mind just races, I can't meditate. And I have two responses to that. One is that some people actually need a different form of meditation, like walking meditation, or or music or something that's going to help you connect into yourself, but it's not necessarily the traditional seated meditation, yet it's something you do consistently to help yourself connect to the divine. And I had a conversation with a friend about this, and I was recalling upon an old friend of mine who actually had very severe, and to this day has pretty serious ADD, and has been treated for it. And when he's an adult now, but when he was a child, his mother put him into drum kit lessons, so the whole drum set. And there was something about him using all four limbs that could bring him into his center. So to this day, playing drums is his meditation. That's how he connects to himself, is just by using all four limbs. It's just the way his brain works. So there's just interesting ways to actually meditate. Although traditional meditation is a seated disciplinary practice, and you can actually practice meditating and try, and sit and breathe through all your frustration and resistances. So part one is finding a meditation that works for you, that helps you connect to source. Part two is trying it anyway. Try seated meditation, and try challenging yourself to sit in it, sit in the discomfort. So either one of those, but creating a daily practice for yourself is how you shift. It's how you create new patterns in your system. And then the last one is to get support. For many people, myself included, I have to have people who I turn to support me in my personal shifts and growths, because I can't see everything. I have my blind spots. So in terms of personal transformation, there are people who are skilled in supporting you through releasing emotions, going into the deepest places inside yourself. They're your guides. They're here to help you on this journey to learn something about yourself, for you to learn something about yourself. So if it feels like, I don't want to, I can do this myself, or I've got so much going on, I can't make time for the support or anything like that, just ask yourself, what's more important? At some point, your system is going to tell you something about the pace that you go at, or the life, whatever's going on in your life. And you'll either know I'm going on a great path, or you'll know, wow, I just got hit against the head, banged my head against the wall, metaphorically speaking, with the universe. I just got slapped with a lesson. And oftentimes it's so valuable just to turn to a support system and ask for help. And again, it's kind of humbling yourself, like kind of letting the ego go down and say, I'm really ready to see my true self, or I'm really ready to go to the level that I'm here to be at. So these are the things that you can do on your own, working in your own practice in personal transformation. And I mentioned at the beginning that if you wanted my support with personal transformation, I am launching the Healer Training Program. It opens up on Tuesday. And it's actually an ongoing program. So you can enroll at any time. You can take a look at it at any time if you feel like you want to have a supportive container for personal growth and transformation. The people who join the program are committed to deeper healing, committed to shifting on a soul level. They're willing to have an open mind, an open heart. They're really not afraid to heal. And they might be some afraid, but they'll name the fear. I'm afraid to do this, but I'm gonna do it. There's more here that I want to find and I want to see in myself. So it's a very powerful program. It shifts people at the deep level, and it's hard to actually talk about because a lot of what we do is about consciousness shifting within the body, healing and clearing blocks, looking to see where Where have I been? Where have I lost myself? Where have I been living crooked or off center? Where have I, where do I need to come back to who I am? How do I open up my intuition? What is my intuition? Our intuition is our soul communicating to us through our consciousness. And there are 4 different ways that that happens in the body. So if you know which way your intuition communicates with you, you actually become empowered because it doesn't feel like you're a sponge soaking up everything around you. So we learn about that in the training program. We learn about connecting to guides and angels, clearing deep energy blocks. It's a very powerful experience, and it's kind of, again, it's hard to talk about it on what we actually do in the program, because so much of the program is about being and moving through the steps of, or just moving through the clearing work. But it's very powerful, and at the end of the program, whether you want to be a healer or not, it's not about that. It's about how much you really want to heal yourself. You will receive a healer training program, or it's a Held in Light healing certificate of completion in the program. And there is practice with other people in the group. There's group support. There's community around it. So it's a really beautiful experience. And then I'm there to support you along the way in this year of personal growth and transformation. And you get to connect in with your soul regularly and build that relationship. And I'm here to help you with that, to help come back to that and maintain that. So again, the training program's open September 2nd. It's ongoing enrollment. However, the tuition price is less expensive if you register before the 2nd. So the ongoing tuition price is $4,995 for the year-long program, and if you register before the 2nd, it's $3,500. And there are payment plans. There's 3, 6, and 12-month payment plans if you need that. And just to give you context on it, there's other programs. I have looked at other programs out there, and most of them are over $10,000 per year. And it's nowhere near this kind of nurturing and support and one-on-one care that you would get. So if you're ready to really be supported and make big shifts this year, I'd be happy to help you in that process and guide you. So if you are interested, you can go to my website, schoolofintuitivestudies.com, go to programs, and then go to Healer Training Program. From there, you're going to click on Learn or Find Out More. You're going to fill out a little bit of information. That will get sent to me. Immediately, you'll get an email back with some more information about pricing and details about the program. And then you and I will set up a time to talk, and I interview everybody who joins the program. I want to make sure it's the right match for you, and that we're a match, and you're going to succeed in the program. So I'm careful about who comes into the program, because I want to make sure you feel like you're in the right place too. So I look forward to working with you if you're interested, and you can email me at any time with questions. It's info@schoolofintuitivestudies.com. And I'm just going to do an energetic closing because we went into an energetic space, but then I'm happy to take any questions. So just feel yourself in this moment. Just relax into your sit bones again in your seat. And just let that shower of light wash through your body. Its grace, helping you come back to your center. And then imagine seeing that there's a beautiful purple light around the outside of your energy field, and that holds your energy in your own body. Protects you, Draws your energy nice and snug. And I pray that our energies are in our own bodies individually. I give thanks to God the Father and to God the Mother and to the angels and guides who are present, helping each one of us heal in our highest good. I'm grateful for being of service in the highest way that I can be. I pray that we all walk in the love and light of who we are, and that we may be guided by our own true hearts every step of the way. And thank you. And I'm just going to unmute for 1 second. And I'm happy to take any questions. It might be loud for a minute. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I'm happy to answer any. And you can type them. And Erin, I saw this question, is it okay to lay down meditation? I find seating very difficult. Of course, yes, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. Does anyone have any questions about the work, about the program?
Hi, Wendy. I have a question regarding the program.
Yeah.
This is Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi there. After one goes through the program, will they be able to heal others as well?
Yeah, well, here's within the program, part of the program material is that you do practice with others. That is part of the work is to trade healings. But here's the thing, the program is primarily focused on self-healing initially. So so you are working on yourself, and it's to the degree that you feel ready to work with others. So some of the like some of the issues that come up for people, you might still feel like I need more practice. So my advice is just to keep working with the people within the group until you feel comfortable. Yet at the same time, some of the assignments within the program are to, do a certain particular healing with somebody else in your family or in your life. So you do, but will you be ready to jump right into healing and starting your practice? It's different for different people. So I would have to know a little bit more about your background and, how comfortable you feel. But we talk about that. I mean, I stay in tune with where you are. So.
And then what is the workload like then within the program? I mean, are you meeting with the group once a week, twice a week? How does it all work?
Yeah, so there's an online classroom called Customer Hub, and all the content for the program is in that classroom, and it's self-paced. So you move through it at your own pace. With me, there's 2 calls per month initially, and then eventually I may add some more, depending on how many people enroll, because we might need more times. But it's twice a month with me, and then there's assistant support, and you submit. There are homework assignments. You submit them. I read them every Friday, so you don't have to submit one every Friday. There isn't one due every Friday. It's just that you submit them and I read them on Fridays. The amount of load, I would say, you could do when I say homework is like meditating and tuning in. So some of that gets worked into your own daily practice, and then some of it is actually, scheduling a time to do a healing or to do a specific kind of clearing on yourself, and then you write up a little synopsis on that, based on the material that we learned. So it's not daily homework. I would say even if you did an hour a week, you could stay in touch with it. You could stay on course with it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a year, the program is a year long. It's about 9 months of content, but I spread it out a little bit so that you have some breaks in between, because it can be a lot to go through. Sometimes you need a little bit more time in one area. So there's some flexibility.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other questions? Thoughts, feedback?
Wendy?
Yeah.
Hello.
Who is this? Hi. I hear you, whoever that is. Oh, someone just called, said my name, but. Does anyone else have questions? Even anything about the meditation or the transformation? Oh, Beth, are you there? Is that Beth? I can't hear you though. Oh wait, you're muted. Hold on. Let me unmute you. How are you muted? That's weird. I don't want to mute Beth. Did you press something on your phone, Beth, like *6 or something like that? Because I can't unmute you. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Are you there? Beth?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, now I can't hear you.
Wow. I'm going to type.
Are you on the computer?
No.
Oh. Okay. Okay. So just as Beth's typing there, does anyone have any other questions? You're welcome to chime in while she's.
Wendy, this is Tim again. I have another question for you.
Yep.
Are you familiar with Christy Marie Sheldon?
No.
Okay. She's another healer. I found her online and I did her program. I was going to ask you, what type of transformations do you see in people going through your course?
I hope we reach how to keep. I wish Beth I could hear you because she was in the program. Asta's there too.
Sure.
Actually, Asta, do you want to say something? If you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I'll let some of the students answer. Former students, yeah. Or alumni.
Sorry, I was reading actually what Beth was writing, so I'm sorry I missed the question.
Yeah, so Tim was asking, what kind of transformations do you experience? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard to answer because I think the transformation depends on like individual person, what they experience and what they think the transformation is too. For me, because I was one of the people that could not meditate for my life. I would just, if I would sit and meditate, like just try to meditate, I would just pass out basically and sleep and get nothing. So for me, even just to right now to be able to actually be with myself quietly, that for me was a transformation itself.
Sure.
So even like like for me, even little steps were major because there were things that I wasn't able to do. And even like sit in front of somebody and get something, like get a knowing about a person or feeling, for me, it's a transformation. For me, it's a big step. For someone else, it might be not, they might not consider that a big deal, especially if someone that comes in with already all kinds of visions and they can see and do a lot. But for me, even like these little steps were amazing. It's amazing to feel and be able to see something, to be able to get some messages. It was amazing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Asta. It was I was going to say it's similar too. It's like I come back from these weekends and I remember saying to like my coach at the time, like, how do you put into words like the shift in somebody's eyes or their face or their like expression, and it's not even like it's not external. It's like this complete internal feeling of awakening inside. That's they woke up to something inside themselves, and it's looking at life from a completely different perspective or an enhanced perspective, or it's just sitting like Hasta saying, like sitting in yourself in a completely different way. Like the work is so internal, and then from there you end up living your relationships differently, or living your goals differently, or your path differently.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to work with a healer, and she did great work, but it's like she stopped, and I've been wanting to know how to do it myself.
Yeah.
So, and I came across your page and everything, so it's very appealing, and definitely want to enroll.
Yeah. If you're welcome to send me an email or fill out the information on the training program, and if you want to set up a time to talk about the program, I'd be happy to schedule that with you.
Definitely.
A one-on-one talk. So yeah, just feel free to either email me or fill out that information.
I will
and we
do
can
that
schedule time.
All right.
Okay, yeah. There's a couple other questions. Aaron was asking, how is it self-paced? Meaning, is it possible for people to be out of sync with one another? Meaning, are people going to be at different times? Are they going to be, are people going to be joining at different times? The majority of people are going to come in September and kind of be working at the same time. Initially, what'll happen, the group is not that big initially, so I'm going to be able to track where everybody is. But as more people join, the way it'll work is that I'll actually add more calls. So some people will be right on the same schedule, and some people will be working maybe a chakra behind or a couple chakras behind. But the way that this will work is that I just add more calls and make those calls specifically module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4 calls. In addition, there's a couple assistants who help with the program too, so they're guiding the process as well. So there is a big group, and you may even find, even if you're in module 2, that someone has some insights in module 1, and that insight actually really helps you tremendously. So there is some benefit to some people being in different places, and at the same time there will be calls added specifically for each of the modules as the program grows. So I hope that answers your question, Aaron. And Beth, will you reach how to keep energies? Will you reach how to keep energy? Oh, will I teach? Will I teach how to keep energy separate from others? Yes. Yes, I will. So we do that in the program. We teach about a lot of times we pick up energy from each other because we're so empathic, and empathic is oversensitivity, which can be seen as a problem if we don't realize that it's actually a power. And so once we start to connect to it in the second and third chakras as a power, then there's a way we can hold our boundaries, hold our center more, to where it's not hindering us, it's not stopping us. It's actually a way we can own our own emotions and realize that the other person's emotions are not ours or our responsibility. So that empathic piece is a power. It's an intuitive power that needs to get learned and harnessed in order for us to not see it as we're as sponges that we're soaking up everybody's energy. So yes, we go into that tremendously. That's a big part. It's a big part of module 2. It's actually a big part of when we do second and third chakras, because those are the empathic power centers. And when we get to module 2 and we talk about empathic intuition. So wait, Erin had something, she had added something. Also, how do you see the potency, if you will, by being affected? Yeah, how people have asked that. How is it translating from a in-person module to um, how is it translating to an online program? How is it effective as an online program? And to be actually perfectly honest with you, I have struggled with that for 3 years. And that's why I didn't transfer it to an online program, is because I wanted to see it in action with people. But what I have come to find out, and this is through my own guidance and through my own experience with online programs, because I've been leading several now, is that the past training programs have been half online anyway. So even though I show up in person and teach a module, teach a weekend, there is half the work is actually done self-paced and at home. So it wasn't a huge shift to transfer it over into an online format. And what I was very concerned about was just the transmission that occurs in teaching through an online format. But thankfully, to like GoToMeeting and these kind of webinar formats, and since I've been doing them for a while now, people are getting the same experience through the webinar format or through connecting, because we're not the way, how do I say this? The way I work energetically is to connect on the soul level to you, to what's going on for you. So I don't necessarily use my eyes, my nose, I don't use these senses. I use my intuitive sense to connect to what's going on in your own system. And half my work is distance anyway. I work over the phone. So the training program was, I kind of had to work through my own fears or feelings about that. And then once I started to see what was already happening with the training program and with the online programs I was already teaching, it actually turns out that it's just as effective, especially because I am so in tuned with where you are and connected to where you are. So I hope that answers your question, Erin. Great. Okay. I think that was everyone's questions.
We have one more.
Yeah, yeah.
Asta.
Hi, Asta.
Hi. How is there gonna be a difference in the material from for people that beginning first time taking program for first time in alumni?
Yeah, there is some. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, or are we gonna go through the same material that we went the first year?
Mm-hmm. Some is the same and some is not. So there's added material, but there's also some of the same material that you do go through, and some of that is actually purposeful. Like, it's so different when you've gone through the whole program and you get to module 4 and you have this big opening, and then you go back to root chakra and you address root chakra from a different perspective, because your consciousness has already visited there, in the previous program, that when you start to bring a newer consciousness into that area, you're able to work through an issue there that you weren't able to perhaps the first time around. Mm-hmm. So there is some value to going through, like I go through I've been like 17, 18 years now doing chakras, and I'm still going back to the root chakra. I'm still like going through the chakras. It doesn't end. So no, I'm kidding. But there's some value to going back through and looking at what's there. And there is some new content also. There's some new practices I've put in there. Breathing exercises and some chanting and some other different practices.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? It's a little after. So if there aren't any other questions, I thank you all for calling in. And if you're interested in the program, go ahead and go to my website, schoolofintuitivestudies.com, go to programs, healer training program, click on find out more, send me information, and we will set up a time to talk about it. I'm happy to chat with you about your goals and what you want to get out of it. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Wendy.
Good night. Have a good night. Thank you.